So,
Mr. T.
we're going to do something.
Jay.
We used to talk about this stuff a little bit more, but we're going to talk about it now because it's actually a positive thing for AEW, and that's the AEW Dynamite ratings, at least as positive as it can get for them considering the trend that they have been doing lately. So, we're going to break this down. It's going to be the AEW numbers from September to Remember, 3-hour special. Wrestlenomics is reporting that the September 17th edition of Dynamite pulled in 602,000 viewers overall across TBS, which is up from the 584,000 last week. That's a 3% increase week over week.
And in the key demo, 18 to 49, they did a .13 rating, up from the last week's .12. That's a little uptick, and importantly, it kept AEW number one on cable for the night in the demo. If you factor in broadcast TV too, they still landed number 6 overall. Not bad.
Yeah, not at all. Like we said, it's positive compared to the trend they've been following. So we're going to break down the hours here, and it gets a little bit interesting here because the first 2 hours branded Dynamite, it drew 668,000 viewers with a 0.14 in the demo. But the last hour, which was presented as Collision, dropped to 536,000 viewers with a 0.12 demo. For Collision, that's one of the best collisions they've had in a while because they usually have like 300 below for that. So you can see how the audience thinned out once that third hour hit. But honestly, the retention for that's a better retention rate than most of their Dynamites. So the fact that it was a separate show that went longer, I think that's a positive.
Yeah. And looking at the bigger picture compared to the trailing 4-week average of 630,000, they're up 10%. But if you look at the measure against last year's quarter 3 average of 696,000, they're down 9%. So solid for September, but year over year, the story is still trending downward. We've been saying that for a while.
Yeah, and August actually showed a small positive swing, averaging 700K compared to the 680 last year, at a 3+% gain. So that's pretty good. They haven't had one of those in a while. But
Yeah.
if they're going to hold that audience for those 3-hour shows, that's going to be a struggle. And that third hour is still where fans are starting to check out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I still feel like overall, compared to the usual Collision, like if you're just looking at that as in the Collision hour, it did great.
I mean, Dynamite.
No. So the last hour
Oh, yeah.
was
No. Yeah.
Collision. So I just mean, if you just look at the Collision number, that's super positive. Even Dynamite was up
Yeah.
compared to what it was last week, but the last 2 weeks it's been pretty poor. So not I don't think there's any negative that you can draw out of this except for the fact that they are down year over year. But they're that in everything, and I feel like most companies are right now. Wrestling isn't looking good
Yep.
for both companies. So viewership was, like we said, 602,000 for both shows. That demo was 0.13, which got them number one in the night. So, I mean, how could
Well,
you argue with number one in the night for the demo? That's the goal.
right. Can't hate on that.